What's going on, party people? Winter Knight here, and today we're back with some more Series 2 action, and do I have a treat for you guys. So I built this team with the homie Scooteezy, and then we both took it to the Wide League Saturday Night Rumble last night. We both managed to finish in the top 16. Scoot went 7-0 in Swiss, while I went 6-1. So even though we did lose in Top Cut, it was a very strong showing from the team. It just has the tools that you need to handle the big meta threats right now, and is very, very strong. So we're going to go through and watch some of my matches. I didn't comment these as I was playing like last time, so I'll be able to give a little better commentary. But before we get into it, I'll do a brief rundown of the team. We are planning to do a team report later on today if we manage to link up, so you'll be able to see all the details there. But as you can see, we have Booster Energy Acid Spray Iron Moth, which pairs very well with the Choice Specs Flutter Manes to just absolutely destroy things. Iron Moth is also running Discharge, which synergizes very well with the Gastrodon and Iron Hands, and makes it very good into rain teams. So with the combination of Discharge, Iron Hands, and Gastrodon, it has the rain matchup sewed up. And then we are also running Steel Terra, Clear Amulet, Roaring Moon with Tailwind, of course the Assault Vest, Stomping Tantrum, Iron Hands, and then Grass Terra, Throat Spray, Imprison, Trick Room for Rigorath to just shut down Indeedee, Armarouge, or any other Trick Room shenanigans. Before we get into the matches though, if you could, please consider liking and subscribing. The channel has grown so much recently and you guys have no idea how much that means to me. I appreciate your support. So let's get right into it. Alright, so first up here, as you can see, we have Ellie Kitty, and she is running Iron Bundle, Amoonguss, Indeedee, Pelipper, Armarouge, and King Gambit. So, had to be careful here to lead well, because of course Indeedee Armarouge is very, very strong. So you always want to be careful and make sure you lead right, but still want to take into account the other leads that they could have. So I did decide to go for Rigorath with Roaring Moon here, just because they are both really good into the matchup. But as you can see, they actually bring Indeedee Pelipper here. So this caught me a little bit off guard here, but I feel like it was still a good lead on our part, because we do have the speed here. We do have the option to go for the Tailwind if we want to, but I was concerned that they would try to set Trick Room with Indeedee here. So I did consider going for the Imprison just to make sure that didn't happen. But I felt like even if they did get up Trick Room here, that I would be able to reverse it, so I just wanted to get some damage down. So I do just go for the Throat Chop into the Indeedee and click Hyper Voice. That way we can go ahead and get the Throat Spray boost and get Rigorath set up here. So they do just follow me. Throat Chop comes out, does big damage to Indeedee, will put it in range. And they just Hurricane Roaring Moon, so that does just about half here. But then the Hyper Voice comes out. Somehow Indeedee hangs on there. But we do big damage to Pelipper as well, so we are in a good spot here. This time decide to just Throat Chop Pelipper because Hyper Voice will finish off the Indeedee. So they retreat with the Indeedee and bring out the bundle. So too bad we didn't double that spot, but boosted Hyper Voice will do big damage here to the bundle as they just get up their Tailwind. Hyper Voice comes out, finishes off Pelipper, and brings Bundle almost down to Sash. Just bring back out the Indeedee. So Bundle is not threatening enough damage here. Could possibly KO Roaring Moon here if he goes Freeze Dry, so I do decide to go Steel Terra here just to make sure that we can take the Freeze Dry and then hopefully get off the Throat Chop, and we'll just keep Hyper Voicing with the Giraffe. So in a very good position at this point, because even if we lose Mon here, we've got everything heavily damaged on their side. They do just protect the Indeedee. Out comes the Freeze Dry, so we tank that easily, but then we get frozen. So that was very, very unfortunate. Of course, we stay frozen. So Farigiraf will finish off the bundle here. Probably should have went with Trick Room there since they had Tailwind up. It would have put me in a good position, but I wasn't sure what they had in the back. And as you can see, it is King Gambit, so it's so slow that even in Tailwind, most things I have would still move after it if I were to set Trick Room. So unfortunately, I already used my Terra here, so I can't Terra the Farigiraf. I don't want to just hard switch something in to take the Kowtow Cleave. So I just gotta hope that Roaring Moon thaws out here. They do just go Terra Dark here. Follow Me comes out. Roaring Moon stays frozen. So that's 2 turns. Kowtow comes out. And poor Farigiraf never stood a chance. So down it goes. So momentum swinging in the other direction here fast with that freeze. So I do decide to just go ahead and bring Gastrodon out because I have Protect on it. There's 1 turn of terrain left, I believe. So I decide I just want to protect Gastrodon here and attempt to get up the Tailwind if I unthaw, but then I'll be able to bring Iron Hands out once the terrain is down so that I'll have access to Fake Out. Another reason I protected Gastrodon here was so I could kind of stall out some of the turns of their Tailwind. Moon stays frozen. That's 3. Kowtow Cleave goes into the Protect there, so I do buy another turn for Moon to hopefully thaw out. Their Tailwind does peter, terrain goes away. Try to get the Tailwind up again. And just want to get rid of that Indeedee so Iron Hands can come in and take care of the Gambit. And another turn. Roaring Moon stays frozen. So that was very unfortunate. Luckily, and then the crit on the Psychic there. So poor little Gastrodon goes down as well. So after being in such a good position, the freeze on Roaring Moon put us in a horrible position. The momentum is swinging back very, very fast here. So I do expect them to protect the Indeedee. On the fake out, they don't want to get faked out. So I just go Drain Punch into Gambino here. But Roaring Moon stays frozen again. We do get a big Drain Punch off though, as they finally take out Roaring Moon with the low kick. That's fine, he wasn't doing a lot. So we're still in it here. They do have Follow Me. Trying to decide here if I want to go into the Gambit. It's Assault Vest, so it can't protect. So I do decide to just go for the Drain Punch here. That way if they attack with Indeedee, we'll still get off the damage. Sucker Punch, of course, not doing much to Iron Hands there. Psychic does do a much bigger chunk, but we'll get some of that damage back with the Drain Punch. And now it's just the 1v1 with Indeedee at very, very low health here. So now, barring a crit, we do have this one won here. But thankfully, Hands tanks it there, no crit. So we do just finish off Indeedee. So as you can see, very strong start to the match. We were in a great position, a good enough position that we were able to still pick up the win despite Roaring Moon staying frozen for a good 5 turns. So GG's to my opponent, very well played. So next up we have Joker, and he is running Iron Hands and Iron Bundle with the Palafin, King Gambit, Pelipper, and Amoonguss. So as I mentioned before, the team matches up very well into rain. I'm pretty sure that he only had water moves on his Palafin, so Gastrodon does just shut that down. A lot of times you could get away with not bringing Gastrodon if it's just Pelipper and Palafin, but they do have the Iron Bundle in this situation, and Gastrodon is also very good into King Gambit if it doesn't Terra, as well as Iron Hands. Leads Iron Hands and Amoonguss here, so we go Iron Moth and Flutter Mane. So his Amoonguss is Water Terra here, so keep that in mind. Get the booster energy as well here. So I'm debating going Heat Wave. It does hit Amoonguss and Bundle hard, but I'm expecting the Terra on the Amoonguss here, so I do decide to just go Discharge and then switch out into Gastrodon. That way if they try to Hydro Pump, we'll get the Storm Drain going, and also we won't damage ourselves with Discharge. Flutter Mane goes out, Gastro comes in, and here comes the Terra, and it is the Amoonguss, so we get the read right here. And he goes for the hydro pump, so Gastro getting a little boost here. No damage done. Discharge comes out. It does big damage to Bundle, and we get the para. So I didn't do as much damage as I wanted to the Amoonguss, but they spored the Gastro spot, and we are A-okay with that. So great first turn here. Puts us in a very good position since we do outspeed the Bundle now. So I'm debating, decide to just protect the Moth and go ahead and tear up the Gastro here. I want to stall out some of the sleep turns, make sure that Moth doesn't get put to sleep, and I kind of expect them to protect Bundle here. So I'm going to go ahead and go Terra Fire on Gastro, even though it's asleep. That way we don't have to worry about a freeze dry. So it looks like they were going for the protect there, most likely, but they do get full parried. But either way, we burn a turn of sleep on Gastrodon here as the Spore comes out into Moth. Let's go Discharge again, and Earth Power to get some damage down on Amoonguss. They do retreat the Bundle. Out comes the Iron Hands. We'll take the Discharge. Amoonguss hangs on. Eats its berry here. Gastro does wake up here. Gets off a big Earth Power. And then Moth goes nighty-night. So, trying to decide here. Correct choice is always protect Gastro. That way they don't go fake out Spore to put the Gastro to sleep. If they do go that route, it will burn a turn of sleep on the Moth. They do just hard switch out the Amoonguss to get a little bit of Regenerator recovery. Back comes Iron Pingu. Gastro protects. Moth takes his turn of sleep. And they just wild charge the Gastro now that it is no longer a grass type. So just gonna go Heat Wave here and try to get off that +1 Earth Power into the Iron Hands. Moth does stay asleep, which is unfortunate. Just go Freeze Dry, that's all they have to hit Gastro with. And Wild Charge comes out, but Gastro's a tanky boy. He lives on 8. So after the Wild Charge repull, that Earth Power brings it down very, very low here. So we're just going to go Heat Wave and protect the Gastro. Want to keep the Gastro healthy since it shuts down the Bundle so hard. Moth takes another turn of sleep here. But Bundle gets full parried here. And they just go Drain Punch into Gastro. So that's great. We burn all 3 turns of sleep on Moth, so it is guaranteed to wake up here. So I could have went Heat Wave Recover there, but I wasn't sure if Heat Wave would pick up the Iron Hands from that health. I figured it would. So it would have been a good time to recover, but this play worked out because they do protect their bundle, so now it won't be able to protect the next turn, and we'll have access to the fake out. Even if it comes out, and it does pick up the Iron Hand. So Mungus comes back out. Still haven't seen who his third Mon is here. But decided to just wild charge, no need to fake out. We're faster than bundle with the Moth. But he does just switch Amoonguss right back out for some more regenerator. In comes King Gambit. Unfortunately, I didn't go Drain Punch there. But Discharge finishes off bundle. Does some chip to Gambit. And then Wild Charge will bring it down to about a third of its health. So he can't Terra the Gambit here. He can go Sucker Punch, but just not a whole lot for him to do in this position. So I decided to just protect Moth and go back out. I was thinking about going back out into Gastro. That way I could reset up the fake out. I decided to just attack. We're far enough ahead here. But the battle is just canceled. So GG's to my opponent. As you can see, both of these matches were good examples of how to play around static. Alright, so next up we have Juan, and he is running a very interesting team with Annihilate, Sylveon, King Gambit, Hariyama, Dragalge, and the Farigiraf. So, trying to decide who I want to go here. Do decide just to go Iron Moth, Farigiraf with Iron Hands and Gastrodon in the back. This is a straight hard Trick Room team. He did have Scarfed, Final Gambit, Annihilate. So that's why I was kind of thinking about this here if I wanted to bring Flutter Mane. That way I would have a switch in for the Final Gambit. But I decided, see, I was debating it, so I do decide to just go with that, try to put on as much pressure as possible, and then bring Hands and Gastrodon in the back. So that was my main concern. I just didn't want to lose a Mon to Final Gambit first turn. So I do have the Ghost Terra on Iron Moth. So if he leads Annihilate, if I could just go Ghost on the Moth and make sure that we avoid the Gambit. He does lead Sylveon King Gambit though. So he's putting a lot of pressure onto Flutter Mane here with the Sucker Punch. He is flying Terra on the King Gambit, so I do fully expect him to Terra here. So I just go with the Discharge. And we'll just switch out into Iron Hands. Flutter Mane comes back. Hands comes out. He does Terra, so we get the call right here. Protect comes out from the Sylveon here, so that's okay. So it is AV Gambit, so Discharge doesn't do a ton, but it does a nice little chunk there. Unfortunately, we don't get the para, but we do get the crit. And then Iron Head comes out into Iron Hand. So great switch there. Putting a lot of pressure on the Sylveon now because it did just protect. So I decided to just go Heat Wave. And then go ahead and Terra the Iron Hands and Wild Charge the Sylveon. I want to make sure that it doesn't take big damage from the Hyper Voice here. I actually decide to Wild Charge the Gambit slot. But Farigiraf comes out. So that's fun. So Iron Hands turns into Atlas with the world on his head. Heat Wave comes out. Does a nice chunk to both here. Hands is faster, so gets off a big Wild Charge into the Giraffe. Hyper Voice doesn't do much to Moth. Does a decent chunk to Hands, but we are able to take it with the Terra there. So just go Heat Wave again. And then Wild Charge the Sylveon. Heat Wave finishes off Farigiraf, and Sylveon will go down to the Wild Charge here. So another strong start here. Put ourselves into a good position. We get down to their final 2 Mons and still have all 4 of ours. So he brings the Gambit back out. And it is Annihilate here. So I still want to be wary of the final Gambit. He only has 2 Mons here, so I don't think he's going to final Gambit and just throw away one of his Mons when I still have all of mine. But I do decide to just go Heat Wave. And debating if I want to switch out into Flutter to take the potential final Gambit, but I do decide to just go Gastro. You know, it's a good sack in this position. It's not extremely valuable. And this way we can reset up the Fake Out if we need it. He does Sucker Punch the Moth, but it hangs on. Heat Wave comes out since we are faster due to the booster energy, and we get the burn. So Moth was just so good this whole run. Post Combat comes out, but Gastro eats after the burn. So after that burn, there's just really nothing that my opponent can do here. So I just protect the Moth, try to go for the Ice Beam on Gambit, and the battle was canceled. So GG's to my opponent. So as you can see, the team is very, very strong. This is just the first half of the run. So I will be back with another video that'll cover the rest of the run as well as one of my matches in Top Cut. Like I mentioned earlier, we are planning on releasing a video with a team report where we both comment on it, so be on the lookout for that, and we'll try to go over the team and why we made the choices that we did. Hopefully that'll help you with your own team building. But that's going to be it. We will see you guys in the next one.